Oops. So it would help if my phone would not be dumb. I thought it was connected to the good Wi-Fi and it wasn't, and now it's back to being the good Wi-Fi. I did see there was one person popped up in the chat, like right before everything died on me. So I'm hang out, see if they come back. Ooh, I've got a like already. So yeah, let's make sure the chat is on. Okay, it's on. Cool. So yeah, I'm currently uploading a video. I guess I should have waited until that video actually uploaded. To like notify the like 3 subscribers I have. To let them know that I'm here and I'm alive. Hi, I see there's one person watching. Hello. Let's see who it is. Can I? Poor connection, it says. Cool, great, awesome. Why do you have a poor connection? The Wi-Fi is 2 feet from you, and it's really good Wi-Fi, so get your crap together. Come on. Poor connection. Come on. Show chat. Oh, okay. I poked a thing and now it won't show me anything. Rude. Okay. 2 people watching. Whoa! Hi guys. Let me know what's going on. How's it going? Oh, I'm just back to 1. Cool, great. Okay. So, hi. Hello, L. Sanders. I think you were one of my first subscribers. That's really cool. You're like, cool, great, I'm subscribed. Where are the videos? There are none. Yeah. So, basically, I'm gonna try and do a different thing with my channel. Obviously, I still want to focus on the Seamstress at Arms part. Woo, actually something on here, exactly. Yeah, so basically I'm currently uploading a video explaining that I haven't been uploading because I'm like, but I'm not good at this. After you appeared with J-Lo. Cool. Yeah. That was basically a year ago. I'm an idiot. But anyway. Yeah, so basically I have something currently uploading explaining what's going on and how I've been lame-o. But anyway, I wanted to get on here and see what's going on. And I don't know, I was thinking maybe doing a little tour of my new space because guess what? Since I uploaded a video last, I've moved again. So that's fun. But now I just live with 1 person instead of 6, so that's nice. We have 2 bathrooms for 2 people, also very nice. I got my cat back. J-Lo, so Captain Xavier's mom, was taking care of my cat, his mom and his sisters. Were taking care of my cat while I moved the first time. So she's been there since I moved the first time. Oops. I forgot my computer was on behind me. So I have her back. Ouch, 6 people. Yeah, so there were 7 people in one house. And 2 cats that peed on everything, and a dog that crapped everywhere and got into things, and none of them were my animals. Do you want to see my cat? I will show you my cat, because that's how the internet works, right? Switch. Y'all. Guys. Okay, this is my cat. This is what she does. Anytime I'm working on a project, she knows which one I'm working on and has to lay on everything. Hi, this is Zoe. She's named after Zoe Washburn from Firefly. This is a wool cloak that I'm making for Steven. Who we're going to Collegium this weekend, so in the Society for Creative Anachronism at the SCA, Purdy cat, yeah, she's pretty cute. In the SCA, I am in the Kingdom of Ontario, which is, I think, the whole west of the United States. Or, like, the north? I don't know. I don't actually know that much about the SCA because I didn't originally start in the SCA. I just am kind of picking things up as I go along. But anyway. The King of Ontario. Last year? I think he's finishing up being king. I think it's just... I don't know. But anyway. Styrkar Jarskald, who's really a freaking cool guy. You can look him up on Facebook. He's awesome. Like, in real life, he's like an amazing surgeon. But in the SCA, he's really cool. And anyway, he started this event last year. And hopefully he's just gonna continue to be a thing. Called Collegium. So, it's a winter event. So, rather than doing the whole war thing during the summer, it's more like a convention. Basically, it's an indoor SCA event, so there's no camping. Everybody still dresses up, but it's really like a con, like one of the more grown-up cons, like SteamCon and Steamposium. SteamCon doesn't exist anymore. Steamposium and stuff like that. Hello, Scott. I'm not going to try and pronounce your last name because I have a weird German last name and it gets mispronounced enough that I know not to mispronounce people's names. But anyway, so it's for all of the arts and sciences stuff. Yeah, I thought so too. So it's mostly for the arts and sciences. There's some combat, but most of the time wars do have an element of like, oh, we're going to do some arts and sciences over here. But in the group I originally started with, which is the Empire of Adria, which split off from the SCA in like the 70s, I want to say. Don't quote me on that. Sanders. Yeah, pretty much. That's why I didn't even try. Anyway, they split off in like the 70s. So their wars, the Empire of Adria, so you have combat and you have archery, and you have two different types of combat. So steel. Oh, smith, yeah. Sanders is pretty common too. But anyway, they have their heavy combat, which is steel, and then light combat, which they do shinai, which are the kendo swords, the slatted kendo swords, and rapier. And then you have archery and arts and sciences. So in the Empire of Adria, each of those categories is an event, and you get points. So there's combat points, there's archery points, there's arts and sciences points. And you can win or lose a war on whether or not you brought enough arts and sciences. Because you could win all the combat, all the archery, and lose because the other people got amazing amount of points in arts and sciences and just steamrolled you because they brought a huge, beautiful presentation. Which, to my understanding, that's not quite how the SCA works. I haven't actually, been in the gameplay enough to really understand. Sorry, I will do that a lot. My neck hurts. But anyway, so, I think that's why Styrkar wanted to really, make this event about the arts and sciences. So, there are different tracks. So, like at a convention where there's lots of panels, each room has a series of panels and discussions and classes for each track. So there's fiber crafts, so people who spin wool and linen and embroider and sew and stuff like that. There's costumes. There's specifically costuming is different. We want all the battles, but yeah, actually, it's true. You know what? It's true. I'm sure Chalo is going to talk about these in story time, so that's why he made the crew the way it was. okay, we're gonna learn not only how to fight properly in a group, because nobody knows how to do that, but also everybody has to at least learn and be competent in every part of combat. And you need a skill. And a trade, basically. And we kind of tried this apprenticeship program, and it kind of worked, and whatever. But anyway, so it's going to be really cool. So, I went last year, and that was pretty much my first event that I really, truly went to in the SCA. Like, based almost exactly a year ago. And that's happening, we're leaving Friday. And it kind of starts, it's like I said, like a convention, so it starts, there's like opening court and stuff Friday evening, or Friday, I think the event opens at 3 p.m. And yeah, so there's evening court, and I think a couple of beginning lectures, like last year there was like a spinning class and a couple of things, I don't know what's going on, but it was really cool, it's really fun. And so, SCA, so Society of Creative Anachronism, that's one of the fighting groups. SCA, it's really hard to enunciate, but, so it's one of the fighting groups that we work for, yeah, SCA. One of the games that, like, Zav is kind of less involved in the SCA. He's been doing a little more HEMA lately. And like I said, Empire of Adria is where we all started. And technically those two groups spawned, or Adria spawned from the SCA, because the SCA has been around forever and a half. Or maybe it started in the 70s and they split off in like the 80s. I don't remember. But yeah, so normally you go to a war, and depending on the kind of theme, it's a camping event, and you pick a side, and it's either because it's two different subdivisions fighting, or, yeah, no, I really like HEMA too. Stephen and I were discussing that we're more, so, HEMA is more like Olympic fencing, but just a different school. So it's that kind of sport combat, where you have regulated stuff, and none of it's supposed to look historical or anything, and it's just, you're using regulation blades and blah, blah, blah. But there's just, like, specific bouts, like in fencing. You're there for, like, a championship or a tournament, and, like, that's how it's structured. And the SCA does tournaments, but their heavy combat is with rattan, which is similar to, or it's a species of bamboo, or related to bamboo, but it's solid all the way through, rather than being hollow. So it's a really soft, certain amount of flex kind of wood, rather than being like oak that you beat each other with. But it has to have like a certain amount of foam for thrusting tips, so it's not, I don't know, there's a chart, or there's a diagram that a friend showed me that's basically, so it's a triangle of like LARP, sport, and history, and, or I mean, I don't remember. I'm gonna screw it all up now, but anyway, but like combat, history, and dressing up or something, and like LARP is mostly like fighting and dressing up and being silly, and then there's people who like, so there's living history that's more like Civil War reenactors, where they're like, everything has to be properly made, blah, 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 and yeah, we're only pretending to fight, but it's more about the history part, and so they're over on this side. And SCA is kind of in the middle between combat and history, most people are more about the combat. HEMA is just about the combat, not about the dressing up or the anything. So, I don't know if that makes any sense. But, it's the most borderized. We're talking about the triangle. History and fighting. Yeah. So, I come from a costuming background, so I really love the history, and I really love the costuming, and I really love the combat. So, combat-wise, I really lean towards the HEMA, because it's my period, and I love that sort of fighting. Also, by the way, I ordered my fetish shirt, and I'm so excited. I have no idea when it's getting here from Poland, because I'm dealing with somebody who really only speaks Polish, and it's hard. My girlfriend, heavy into the history of the dress aspect. She's an art student, picked a cosplay. Cool, that's awesome. That's awesome, yeah. I started in cosplay many eons ago. But, yeah, so I ordered my sword. Combat-wise, I'm really more into HEMA, which is why in the SCA I'm going to start, like, this branch of the SCA, which is called Cut and Thrust, has been around for a long time, but, like, nobody in our, like, whole kingdom even really does it. Back east, they're like, I don't know what you guys are doing. We've had this forever. You guys are idiots. And they're like, Wolfric. You guys have met Wolfric just a little bit on Captain Xavier's channel. I was talking to East Coast guys, and they're like, I saw your guys' new rules, like your kingdom rules for, like, armor requirements and that. Like, you guys are doing it wrong. You guys are crazy. I don't know what's going on with you. And I don't know what's going on either. They're making dumb rules about, oh, the helmets have to be like this, and everybody else is like, no, they're fine the way they are. No, you have to add stuff, stuff, because it's scary and dangerous. When, like, their body requirements aren't any more than, like, rapier. But helmets, gotta be careful. Y'all Westers is a cray-cray. Basically. But, see, I've had, like, some of the opposite reactions. So when when the crew was really active in the Empire of Adria, we had people from Florida, which I think Xavier has explained this before, come up, because that's how you run for emperor, is there's a big war in each quarter of the country in Canada, I think. Now, I think there's 5. So often the emperor will go to each of those wars to represent, or representative of him, because that's the voting system is fighting. So you fight on the side of the guy that you want. Anyway, he came up and he's like, you guys do it right. You're here for the fun and the fighting and not so much the crazy pants politics that I think a lot of organizations get the people who are rural lawyers and politics and bootlicking and just like, no, I'm good. I'm good. So there's like a mixed reaction. Like when people like get all rule lawyery and weird, the East Coast is like, that's not how that works, guys. That's how you get people to not fight in that branch of this sport, because you make it stupid. But at the same time, some East Coast people see when it does work, and they're like, you guys are, that's awesome. It's fun. What you guys are doing is fun. We've legitimately, in a couple different areas, so once in NERF and once in historical reenactment fighting stuff, have had people like, well, you guys are having more fun than everybody else, and that's just not fair. So you want us to stop having fun because nobody else is having fun? What do you mean? I don't think that's a thing. Yeah, it's fun. But anyway, I've gone on a complete tangent. This is the other problem. I have ADHD, so maybe streams aren't the best. I don't know. I think I think my tangential thinking is fun and cool and interesting, but I'm sure other people who don't have any ADHD are like, we went off the subject, and then you lost that subject, and then you lost that subject, and we're in France now, and I don't know how we got here. But anyway, the point of this stream, I thought that I would introduce your cat. Yeah, I like to digress. I wanted to show you guys my cat, and I wanted to show you guys my new setup, and then I guess show you guys what I'm currently working on. Not really a productivity stream because all you would do is listen to. And that's lame. Oh good, I'm glad, Scott. But anyway, do you guys want to see my stuff and things? Cat? My really messy setup? That's the other thing. Because I tend to explode and like working on this project and everything explodes, and then I tidy everything up, and then I work on this project and everything explodes, and so I'm like, I can't make a video, everything's a mess, because I'm in the middle of a thing. I'm always in the middle of a thing. But anyway, I'm just gonna, maybe that's the key, is to like shame myself into cleaning, because I can't show you guys unless I clean. Okay, so we're gonna switch it. It'll go. That was a lot of black. Okay, so I drink a lot of coffee, so I always have constant amounts of coffee. This is not coffee. This is a pitcher, which I refill. Messes aside that you're working. Yeah, I feel ya. The other thing is my workshop is my living room. Okay, so this is this really awesome table that Captain Xavier and I made together. Oh, I can't change the lighting at all. Okay. So it's got basically really similar stuff to how he's got his table set up. But then there's a giant pile of stuff that I'm working on. Therefore, the cat has to be on it. So it's 4 foot by 4 foot, and then it's like 3 and a bit feet tall. So he gets cat TV, so that's nice. And that's the herb garden. But anyway, that giant trunk is not usually there. It's full of garb that I need to work on and unpack from the last couple events. Yes, you're very cute. That is where all of my books are, so it's all of my patterning books and inspiration and history and research, basically. So this is a really cool table. This is actually where we filmed the Mail Time unboxing stuff for Chalo's channel when he was here. This is the amazing handmade oak table that I got for like $6, $8 at Goodwill because I puppy guarded it. But anyway, that is my giant bin of scraps that I'm going to be recycling and stuff. And then, so for right now, I've got this giant stack of stuff. Oh, I still have Halloween decorations. I should take that down. This is most of my fabric storage. So I've got wool. This is mostly, it turned into a weird, like, hat making stuff and feathers storage. I don't know. It's got some weird personal project stuff in there. And then I've got these two. These were divided into several different cardboard boxes, and then I got these things at a Goodwill outlet, which is creepy. Always go with a friend. Always take gloves and hand sanitizer, friends. Wear your seatbelt, all that jazz. So this is stuff that I want to that I've got for personal projects, and then this is fabric and stuff that I've got for mostly Chalo projects, and then some other crew members and stuff. I'm like, hey, so right, this is the fabric for that thing. And then I moved my, oh, that's my Lego figure that Chalo made me for my comp frau. We talked about her. More fabric on a roll. I don't think this is accurate. Lining and satin weave. Kind of. And then I've got just random bins of beads and things. This is my garb beads. This is garb trim. Yes, a particularly grimy dungeon. With little old ladies that are like scary, fierce. Oh, you can't have that. Those are people's carts of things and stuff. I'm like, okay. Anyway, that's leftover fur. I made a blanket and some goat pants. And we ended up buying the rest of the roll. Oh, hey, there's my hat. I should probably take that this weekend. That was the silly hat that I wore for the new mandatory silly hats for the unboxing and mail stuff. Question mark? Question mark? I'm pretty sure that's fabric. I should label things again. And then this is one of my many really cool sewing tables. Sewing machines, actually. So this and another one that's in the middle of the living room are waiting for me to resurface and fix them. But, you know, I just haven't gotten around to it. Now it's winter, so we'll probably wait till next summer. This is another thing. I'm going to put it on the stream so that you guys can remind me and shame me into working on this. This is Floofmageddon. So I got this. We bought this last Black Friday for Chalo. It's supposed to be a blanket. Yeah, so this one's a treadle. So that one's foot powered. And then my messy living room. This one over here that currently has a plant on it, which it shouldn't, is from the 40s, or early 50s, late 40s. So it's got a plug-in. And then I've got two that are not here, that again are from the 50s, that are a little earlier than that guy, or a little later than that guy, but they're still cast iron. They're enameled cast iron, and then you can either use them with power or hook them up to a treadle, which is really cool. So, less messy than I'd assume, roughly akin to my bachelor pad. Yeah, but I live with a partner who is not a fan of my mess. But anyway, so this is patterns. So most of the top stuff is junk patterns that are silly and Halloween-y, and like that you could use as a base to start from to make something accurate and historical. But most of the time I just get gifted crappy costume patterns. Like, you need this, right? Sure, I guess I need this. Actually, to be honest, this one and a couple others along this scheme I bought when I was like 15 because I wanted to do cosplay. I was like, those will work. Yeah, these two. But anyway, and then I have some legit patterns that were given to me by Chalo's mom, because she's getting out of the whole costuming thing. Oh yes, you definitely need those ones. And then I've got this, which I just got at Goodwill. No, that's not Goodwill. That's Value Village. Value Village. It's beautiful. So apparently there is a local Indian family that regularly donates their like beautiful garments. Usually they're like hand embroidered metallic embroidery, gold work and stuff, saris and things. And I didn't have any use for full-on saris, but I should fold that. I should cut the plastic bit that's holding it in a garbled way. But anyway, I like most places, Value Village holds on to like, ooh, this will be cool for Halloween, so let's wait, and then we'll sell it at Halloween. So they regularly donate their clothing and rotate through, which is nice. And I just couldn't let that go to a random person that's like, I'm gonna be Indian for Halloween, which is disgraceful. So my thought was maybe Edwardian sort of deal with it. I don't know how that color's gonna look on me, but maybe I'll give it to somebody else. I don't know. And then this monstrosity is something I'm working on. So I made the sleeves, and it looks like crap right now because I needed to just figure out how the heck it was gonna work. Oh, this one has completely fallen off. I don't know. We'll see. I'm pale, so I don't know about the, like, peachy color. Yeah, so this is for Wulfric. His girlfriend got him this several years ago now. This kind of doublet-y thing that is vaguely, I don't know, it's the San Angelo Collection, Texas. I don't even know what the hell this jacket. Oh, I scared my cat. I don't know what the hell this jacket thing was supposed to be, but it's kind of doublet-y. It needs like the work for my Lantern Connect stuff-ish. And I was like, this is atrocious. How can I help you? So I decided he was going to be my guinea pig so I could make him Lantern Connect sleeves. And mostly this is held together with safety pins because I need to stitch these loops, not only like so they're floppy like that, but also I think I need to stitch them so that they gather together like that, so then it poofs better. I don't know. Sitting on the back of my chair because I haven't worked on it yet, and I need to. So yeah, so there's that. So anyway, I don't know, what do you guys want to hear about now? It's just going to be the three of us, apparently, because it's a weird time of day, and I haven't been active, so nobody pays attention to my channel. I don't know. You want to see what I'm currently working on? What my plan is for this weekend? Like, what do you want to know? Holy crap, it's been half an hour. Maybe I should get shit done. Oops. I'm not going to be as PG as J-Lo is because I don't think little kids give a crap about sewing. What I'm currently working on. Okay. Coffee. Okay. So, Steven Aldrich. Current stuff and what you're doing this weekend. Okay. Aldrich, his persona is based in the late 1200s, early 1300s. He's a Teutonic knight. And I have no means of showing you guys anything. I could go find his surcoat. But that's actually how we met originally 3 years ago. Is that Wulfric wanted me to make two of his friends some garb because they were joining the SCA. And he's like, hey, they don't have garb, you make garb. I want to have a surprise. So, and give them this gift. And so, he said Stephen was interested in 12th, 13th, actually technically it's 13th, 14th, but 13th century Teutonic knight. And he wanted a surcoat for him. I was like, cool. What size is he? What do you want? Like, details. Wulfric is terrible at giving details, by the way. Not that you guys are ever going to make him anything, but he drives me crazy. And he's like, I don't know, one thing. Like this, like, I don't know, I want some sleeves. What color? What style? I don't know, Lantern Connect sleeves, like, poofy. But it's fine. Creative freedom and all that. But anyway, so that's how we met, is I made him, from, just blind, have never met him. Wulfric is like, I don't know, he's about my size, but like 6 inches taller. I'm like, cool, great. So I made this surcoat blind, and it fit pretty well, except that I needed to split the cavalry slit, like 6 inches higher, because he's got it seemed like it fit fine, and then he wore it for a year and a half, 2 years. This is about 3 years ago, yeah. and just beat the tar out of it. I'll go get it. I'll be right back. I guess here, we can get it together because you're on my phone. We're just gonna go through some terrible lighting. Back bedroom. Okay. There it is. No, you don't get to see the mess of that back bedroom because it's mostly armor all over the floor. Okay, so going on an adventure. Dark. It's great. Okay. Okay. So he's continued to beat the tar out of it, but so well, actually, oh god, you can't even see it now. But so essentially, I kept the back, but he had beaten the tar out of it. So you can see so it looks awful, but I like quilted a whole extra layer to this because he's like, this is where the original slit ended, and he ripped it all the way up to here. So I made it tidy again. So you can see this is the old piece of fabric, this is the new piece of fabric. So all of this was mangled and awful. I trimmed it, rolled it back, stitched it. Yeah, you see it like tore at a weird right angle there. But anyway, he's mangled it some more. I need to fix that. So I made him a new cross, and I changed the way it fit him, slid it all the way up. He's still beating the tar out of it. Part of it is that it goes over his chainmail, so that's pretty rough. And also because the chainmail we call it chainmail smut, which is probably not the right word for it, but you know, like coal smut sort of thing. It just gets everywhere. So I made him this originally, but to go with that tangent, I've started making him more actual garb, so when he's not fighting. So I made him this coat. So in this period, a man would wear braids, which are basically linen boxer briefs, and they were really poofy originally, and they literally basically became linen boxer briefs. And then shows, which are stockings that they're like footy pajamas, but they tie at your hips to your brace. So you didn't have pants, you had underwear and then socks that came up to your hips that tied on. And then a shirt, just a regular shirt, long sleeve shirt, sometimes called a tunic, but we just call it a shirt. And then a coat, C-O-T-E, I don't know why I did that, but whatever, coat, and then a surcoat, which sometimes is like that, sometimes is all sewn and connected. But anyway, so I made him a coat and some braids and some shows, and he's my guinea pig because I'd never made those before. And when I did it, it was get it done. So I didn't finish the seams like I should have, and so it started falling apart. So yesterday I had to cut it apart and redo all the seams, but in doing so it made it just a little too snug through this chest. So that's what I'm doing is here. So here's the sort of shape that it is. So it's literally just a neck hole and a straight line for the front and back. So that's all one piece with a neck hole in it. And then there's rectangular panels, or weird, really weird arm-shaped panels for the arms. And then underneath are two basically triangles with the tops chopped off. So this front panel and the back panel stop about here for the sleeve. And then at those corners are the tops of the wedges that go down. And that's what ended up too narrow, is this intersection. Therefore, so that's what I've chopped apart right here. So I guess I could have just bloody shown you this. So this intersection, so here's where it ended up too narrow. So I just split that open, and I'm basically doing this. I'm adding a wedge. So that's what's going on this other side, because I'm about halfway there. Blue on blue on blue, it's great. There we go. So I'm basically adding a gusset to make this intersection less gross, and I'm tapering it all the way down so it's not a weird tube shape. So that's bloody riveting. I see I've lost a viewer because they don't give a crap, but yeah, riveting. That's the other thing I've started doing that is not historically accurate, but I don't care, is I'm finishing all my seams by doing what's called a French seam. So normally you sew everything inside out, put all the pieces together, sew it inside out, flip it right side out, and all the seams are pretty on the inside. Finding it interesting, at least. Good. So what I've been doing to finish these seams is called French seams. So normally you'd sew them together like this, and then it's inside out. I can't do it. Okay. Whatever. Here, I'll demonstrate on this. So you'd sew it like that, and then when this is closed, you'd flip it inside out. And then you have all this extra on the inside, but it's lovely on the outside. So that's how you normally do just a regular thing. And then you can like fold these over so they look nice and blah blah blah, but that takes 20 years when you're just trying to churn out some stuff. So what I've been doing, is essentially this. So what I started doing with his shirt, because I made the coat first, and then with the shirt I'm like, I'm a Newton Beta, this was stupid. I don't want to have to go back and finish all the seams after I've constructed everything because it doesn't work very well. So what you do is, instead of having it inside out, you have it right side out to start with, so that your gross seams are on the outside of your garment. And then you flip it inside out again, and then your seam allowance, which is what it's called, so this is huge now, so pretend the rest of the garment keeps going. So you sew it inside out, and then you sew it inside out again, so that all your raw edges are contained in the fabric. So it takes up more seam allowance, which is also why it got a little too small in the chest, or that kind of armpity area, which is going to restrict his movement too much. But anyway, that means, and that's the other thing, is it's linen. So I've been working with this for like a couple of minutes, and it's already fraying, and you see how much distance it's already falling apart. So that was the other problem, is I didn't finish the seams very well, or some of them didn't get finished at all, and it was the whole garment was falling apart, because if your strings of your just plain woven, so this is plain weave, like a basket weave, falls apart, yes, you do have to plan ahead for your what's called seam allowance. So you have to allow for how much is going to be on the other side of the seam. So you just plan ahead. You're like, I'm going to do French seams, so A, they have to be tiny, and B, I need to cut out that little bit of extra width, so that's what's taken up, so that the true measurement of, for instance, the chest is still going to be there, and you can still fit in it, versus like, this is your chest, for instance, 36. So if my chest is not 36, but if a 36-inch chest, you can't cut out a 36-inch piece of fabric for like a skirt, so it's just a circle, right? It's just one seam. Like my waist is 36, so you do that, and if your fabric is not stretchy at all, you're screwed, because you can't, even if you're, putting a zipper in it, you've taken up at least 1/4 of an inch from each piece of fabric, so a 1/2 inch from the total. Usually most seam allowance is 5/8, or in Europe or the metric system, most people do about 1 centimeter. So it's about 1/2 inch. It's a little bit more than 1/2 inch, which is essentially 5/8. I don't do math. Don't quote me on that. But that's essentially the same. It's like that much. So yeah, you have to figure that out, and you especially have to think about that if it's multiple panels of a garment. So like I said, if it's just that one seam, if it's a loop, if it's a tube you're making, so that's just one seam where it takes 5/8 out of each side. But if it's multiple pieces like this, so it's a front and a back, and then 4 side panels total, seems like less space than you'll need. What, 5/8 of an inch? Not really. That's for costume design in the theater, generally they have us cut out like 2 inches of seam allowance, because guess what? This garment is staying in the theater forever and ever and ever. The 5/8, yeah. This garment is staying forever and ever and ever, so we need it to be able to have room to let out and take in, which most garments don't do that. Like, for instance, here, this sweater has a tiny amount of seam allowance. See, there's the seam, and there's the seam allowance, just itty bitty mini, teeny weeny tiny. But because if you can't let this out, you just can't. And that's something I have to explain in my job, which, by the way, I'm down to 1 job and Etsy commissions, which I'm not taking new commissions yet. I need to finish other commissions instead of screwing around on here, probably. But anyway, that's something I have to explain at work is, no, I can't just let this dress out. You have to order a bigger size. See how there's nothing to let out? Like, oh, can't you just add more fabric? We don't own fabric. What's my Etsy shop? I think it's on my previous videos, unless I messed up. Actually, no, excuse me, sir, or madam. Sorry to assume your gender. As my friend Alice says, ma'am, I had an Etsy shop first. Thank you very much. And I taught Chelo how to do things on Etsy. And he was like, so, you have an Etsy. How does that work? So yeah, I had an Etsy page and stuff. So, obviously. Yes, with the correct spelling of sir. Like sir. Speaking of which, okay, Tangel. So, calm down. Focusing. Well, not obviously. Yeah. It's pretty nice. It could be Lindsay, which actually, Lindsay is a gender-neutral name, depending how far back you go. Lindsay, Francis, stuff like that. Those are gender-neutral names. Evelyn. Evelyn actually was originally a man's name. You got me distracted. Yes, I have an Etsy. It's not really active right now because I don't have any listings, so I'm like, nope, not taking commissions. But it's the same as my Facebook, Seamstress at Arms. It's not like Seamstress at Arms commission, it's just Seamstress at Arms. At Etsy. Etsy.com/Seamstress at Arms. Something like that. I don't know if it'll actually pop up. I enjoy being a distraction. Well, good. Speaking of like a sir, so Steven and I have been enjoying having our own place and living together and being able to do cute things. So let me clear off the island, which is currently the disaster area. But, because I'm good at it, yeah. Okay, so we have this little dude, right? He's the cutest. First off, oh, I have an Instagram too, by the way. It's the same thing. It's Seamstress at Arms. First off, so he's got this pipkin. which is a historical cook pot. And the little guy fits in there, and it's the cutest damn thing. But anyway, so he's like a little planter, and I love him. And we've decided that he's going to stay up year-round, and we're going to make him and the guardian of the house, Hermes, new little, like, outfits. We're going to make outfits, basically. We're going to make him a little, like, winter scarf. I might stick a fake turkey tail on him for Thanksgiving. That'll be fun. So the other guardian of the house, he was the first to move in, and his name is Hermes. And he's a blown glass flying pig. This is Hermes. I will be making, was gonna make him a little witch hat, but that didn't happen. So he's with the glass collection. With all of this stuff. Camera, you stupid phone. Okay. So yeah, so Hermes and the owl, who I think we named, but I don't know yet. And then the plant. We have the house plant. Oh, and the stickers. So I got these wall stickers at the dollar store because I couldn't resist. And they're going up all over the house. That is the first hedgehog of November. I don't know that hedgehogs come out in November. I think they might even hibernate. But, Steven has decided that I couldn't put them up until after Halloween. So, as of November 1st, the hedgehog went up. And there's a little owl in the bathroom who is continuously falling off the wall because steam is not good for stickers. Because they're not vinyl. Or PVC. And then there was a raccoon that was also in the bathroom, but he definitely fell off. So he was moved to the bedroom, and Steven is currently sleeping because he works night shift. So he's on the bedroom switch in there. And yeah. I don't know what else. That's pretty sure they hibernate, yeah. My sister had a little hedgehog friend when she lived in New Zealand. And every day at lunch, they went to a park near the school, and a little blind hedgehog would trundle out, and they'd feed him french fries, which I'm sure was terrible for the hedgehog, but he liked it, so. Anyway, treasure chest is still up from... Oh, and there's still a spoopy raven right there. So, I'm not very good. Oh, I also got this with JLo. That was really cool. This is a darning egg on a handle, which is really cool for when you need to repair things. So you stick it in your sock, and if like the heel or the toe is messed up, you've worn it thin, you fix it. Where in the U.S. do you live? Oh, actually, where do you live in general? I guess I shouldn't assume you live in the U.S. Because I am on Pacific time, so you should definitely be asleep if you're on Pacific time. Scott. Bueller. Anyway, I know there's a delay, I just don't know how much of a delay there is. But anyway, I think this is cool. It was in, you know those antique malls that have like different little stalls? I'm in Maine, East Coast. Yeah, so it's really late for you. Is it 2 p.m.? You're a third shifter and it's 2 p.m. and you should be asleep already? Central Illinois. So yeah, are you 3 hours ahead of me or 2? Because mountain time is really close to me. 1:18. Oh, that's Scott. 1:18. Okay. What time do you work then? 3 hours ahead, okay. So it's 2 o'clock for you and 1 o'clock for Scott. And it's 11 o'clock for me. Math! The more you know, reading Rainbow. I don't know. So, yeah. I don't know, man. Thrilling content. But yeah, Steven works, he usually has to, he works, we're in the valley, so technically, oh, 1 day off, nice. Yeah, I'm currently only working about 3 days a week at my job, so that's fun. Which means I should be able to get shit done, but unmedicated ADHD. You work at 10. So does he, yeah, so he's been sleeping since 7 o'clock this morning. He usually has to leave around 9:30 to commute. So it's not like LA where he has like an hour and a half of commute, but yeah, like an hour and a half to get 3 miles. Nice. That was me this summer. I had 3 jobs, and one of which, yeah, plus Etsy. Yeah. So I had 2 jobs plus Etsy, so it was really 3 jobs, and I was really busy. One of them was teaching riding lessons on horses and taking people on trail rides. So the problem with that is A, she wanted to pay me under the table, which is not good, and B, because of that, she was like, oh, well, I pay you when you're with the clients. So what was in her mind only a 6-hour day was an 11-hour work day because I had to do all the prep, everything in between, and then all the cleanup. I'm going to stop gesturing with that. All the cleanup, taking care of all the horses, all that jazz. So I was pulling 11, 12-hour days. 6 or 7 days a week, plus my other job. Oh, that sounds lovely, Scott. Yeah, really shady. So basically, I had, she wanted me to act like a full-time employee and have full availability, but did not treat me like a full-time employee or give me any benefits. Like, okay, if I'm gonna be here 40 hours a week, you expect me to be here 40 hours a week? I'm only A, gonna work 40 hours a week, or B, you have to pay me to be here all the time if you want me to be available all the time, because it was a 30-minute commute. So when people would just cancel, or just like, oh, last minute, I need you to do 4 hours of work in the evening. Okay, which is actually 6 hours. Because getting all the horses ready, working with people. I'm a floor care technician and handyman. Good-sized nursing home for veterans. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So yeah, I was working I had the trail ride job, which was crazy hours all the time. Not getting paid properly, so that sucked. You're like 45 seconds behind. Okay. Sorry. It's not saying I have a shitty connection, so, for once. But anyway, so I had I had a trail ride job, and then, I work with the crew, so we do Ren fairs and stuff like that, and guest lectures at community colleges and stuff like that, and then I was working at David's Bridal, David's Bridal. In the summer, I am a alterations specialist, and then during the wedding season, I sell dresses. And then Etsy, which I'm behind on. Don't mind me. In the middle of cornfields. Yeah. I used to live in the middle of wheat fields, but now I live in a slightly more suburban area in northeastern Washington. Cornfields are boring, but so are wheat fields. There are actually two. I don't know if you guys are Apple users or Windows users, but the, like, classic Windows backgrounds, the default backgrounds, there are two that are from my area. One is, like, the default, I think it's, like, Windows. Sorry, I'm reading. One, the, like, classic, like, swoopy green hills and clouds and lovely. That's just, like, straight up a picture of the Palouse, which is where I'm from. And then the other one is the same sort of swoopy fields and then a round bale of hay or straw. I think it's a hay bale. That's also from around here. So yeah. That's where I'm from. It's really cool. It's a really pretty landscape. Like, the landscape around here, like, revolutionized the Combine because it had to be able to navigate the swoopy hills and not tip over. Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't think it was 98. I think it was a little later than that. Maybe it was XP. Nobody likes XP. Swoopy. Oh, yeah. Welcome to my verbiage. I say cool things. Squeep is a new one. Spwap and squeep are both squeeping along. Those are two things. And spwap. You can also just, like, spwap onto something or whatever. Those are... Shut up, Pinterest. Nobody asked you. Those are two things that I learned from Steven that are now in my vocab. Squeep. Like, squeep on, squeeping on. Think of... See, I would like a caterpillar. Squeep, 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 squeep. That's squeeping. But also, like, struggle busing at all. That's just squeep. So I watch, The Brain Scoop, which is kind of part of the greater, like, Vlogbrothers umbrella, like DFTBA and all that. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, Hank Green is an executive producer, and Emily Grassley is super awesome. She now works for the Field Museum, and there's a, I've decided that if I were an insect, I am, in fact, the larva of this particular beetle? I think it's a beetle. I don't remember. But there is a biologist that works at the Field Museum, Chicago Field Museum, and she studies riffle beetles, which, so in New Zealand, they live in these riffly streams. But anyway, as you're, like, kicking around for riffle beetles, you also sometimes get these little caterpillar larvae guys. And they're really cute, and they look fuzzy, but they're underwater, so they're just kind of... but they have these little suction cups, and they straight up are little suction cups on each, like, section of their body, and so they, like, suction cup themselves onto things. And that would be me. If I were an insect, I would be that little, like, suction cup guy, because he's really cute. And he just... Yeah, it's my favorite. It's pretty great. But, yeah, if you want something cool and sciencey to watch, The Brain Scoop is awesome. I also like the new PBS thing that Hank Green is doing, which is Eons. I'm just promoting other people. You should look it up. It's really cool. It's just like, Riffle Beatles. It's a Riffle Beatles episode. I don't know what it's called, and I'm not gonna look it up, but it's really freaking cute, and it's my favorite. Yeah, it's been like an hour of just dicking about, which is my favorite. But hey, that's the thing to do, right? It's really cool. Yeah, you should look it up. Also, I have been watching Jaden Animations and The Odd Ones Out a lot recently. I really should do work. Yeah, I'm going to end the stream here in a minute. They're really cool. I have thought about doing Twitch. I'm just not sure how I would do that. Is that a thing you can do? I don't think you can stream via your phone. I would like to do Twitch, especially because I'm told I'm really entertaining, to listen to my commentary playing video games. Creative on Twitch. Okay, I'll try. That's like you guys were saying with Windows, Apple's kind of shady. That's part of my problem with uploading stuff, is like, part 2 of, just keeps getting screwed up, of my longsword drill that we filmed months ago, is that, thank you, is that it's a couple hours long, or it's like an hour and a half edited down, and for some reason, it wasn't letting me upload anything longer than 15 minutes, which I would like to know why the hell that's a thing, because I don't feel like YouTube has had a time limit for a long time, but it might be because, like, I only have a couple people. Yeah, donations would be cool. I would love to make money doing this. And like Chalo's doing, feed it back into the hobby and the livelihood and the life and stuff. Supposedly you can nominate, or you can, not nominate, I can't brain. I've seen it on Danafil. I also need to make a Patreon subs. Oh, okay. Cool. I've seen that on maybe that, and it's not you now, because Danafil don't do you now. They do this, but you can do donations via this. I don't know how. I can't even, like, figure out how to do it as a viewer. Maybe it's you have to do it on the computer and not on your phone. I don't know. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I have an iPhone, which is how I film, because my camera is sad and ancient. YouTube gaming. Maybe. But anyway, so I have a Windows computer and an iPhone, so they don't play nice together. So yeah, it was doing a weird 15-minute limit thing, and so I had to do it on iMovie on my phone to trim it down. I had to cut a ton of stuff out, which was sad, and really pare it down, because I was worried about being lame and annoying and boring. But yeah. Okay, cool. I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to look into Twitch. I would like to. I don't know, maybe you can do it via mobile. I've watched Twitch. I really enjoy Twitch. I would love to do some gaming on Twitch, because I'm silly and entertaining, I think. People think I'm funny. All of my friends are like, why don't you record this? You're hilarious. Probably mostly because I play really weirdly, like, not like, ooh, cool, old retro games, but like Skyrim, and I have been playing Slime Rancher because Markiplier is hilarious and Game Grumps are great. So I've been playing a lot of Slime Rancher and Don't Starve Shipwrecked, and I just bought a couple of click and play or point and click adventures because they were like $2 on Steam, because Steam is the devil. Nice. But Steven and I also play a crap ton of Magic, which he watches Magic tournaments and Hearthstone, and to me it's like watching golf, and it's just like, ugh, because I play it for fun, and I make silly decks for fun, and it's not like sport. Yes, I see the strategy there with the things in there. and then in 2 turns I can murder you with your face and stuff. And I'm like, well, what's the point of that? Because then you just have to do all the boring setup all the time. That's all you do is the boring setup. But whatever. So I have goblins and I have dragons, and he did get me a cool commander deck recently that is more Dargans. Yeah, exactly. It's not fun. Except for the commentary, which, again, would be fun. I haven't played D&D in forever. Partially because when I used to go to University of Idaho, it's a small town, and the nerds I played with, the DM made it like a fucking part-time job, and I was like, okay, bro, I'm in school, and I have homework to do, and I can't stay up till 2 a.m. because I have 8 a.m. classes, 7 and 8 a.m. classes. He's like, oh, well, if you can't come because you're sick, then none of us can play. I'm like, just play my character. Be like, oh, she's not doing anything, but we're going to continue the story. Here's what happened when you were gone. I would be fine with that. He's like, you need to commit to this game. Like, it's not that big a deal. Not a part-time job. I got shit to do. And I had a part-time job, and I was going to school. Don't need more of that crap. So, yeah. I also had a boyfriend, who actually introduced me to D&D, and unfortunately did a very bad job. And he got like, you know, I don't know, obviously you guys play a little bit, but got way too invested in, like, building this world, and he got so invested and put so much effort into it. And for some reason, like, I remember some mutual friends, some of them are still kind of my friends, not really. But anyway, Connor's girlfriend was in that gaming group. But I would come home from work, and then like 6 hours later, they were still fighting the same 3 kobolds. I'm like, bro, why? How? What? How is your combat that slow and how is that not incredibly boring for everyone? But anyway. And so he'd really invest and make it really complicated and hard, and then he'd burn out really quickly. It was like, no crap. Yeah. So yeah, I'm more about the role-playing and less about the stuff. I don't know. I played lots of different versions. And it should be more about the acting and the role-playing and the fun. I played 4th edition, and so there was a lot of roll to seduce. Because my character was a horn dog, and that was really fun. And I slept with a lot of tavern wenches. It was a lot of fun. And I'm like, you can't sleep with everyone. Watch me. Oh look, I got sensitive information because I slept with this bar wench. 4th is okay. I like Pathfinder mostly because it's, I don't know. 4th got a little weird. Apparently 5th is really weird. I haven't messed with it at all. I have not played any 5th. But anyway, you guys are bad. I was gonna end this stream a while ago. There's only 3 of us, and I'm sure other people are gonna watch this back and be like, what the hell were they doing? But it doesn't matter. I'm here to have a presence and create community and make friends. So, and my battery's dying, so I did have it plugged in. That would help. Also, here's the other crap. What is this bullshit that happens with Apple chargers? Like, you guys said you don't have Apple, so you probably don't. Throwing things. Sorry. Demons, Ghosts, and Spirits, and they have all the sex they have. Nice. Cool. I'm more of a Ranger Rogue kind of person. Oh, that's the other thing. So, I think you guys are both from Xavier's channel, right? So I assume you still watch his stuff because he's awesome. Like, Ravenous Tigress was saying, I very much play like she does, for instance, Skyrim. Like, in fact, my ex-boyfriend, when Skyrim first came out, when I was dating this guy, Gavin. He was like, oh, it's so stupid to play anything but a mage in Skyrim because it's just, like, so broken, and you should just, like, use magic and stuff, and I'm like, and I was like, whatever, dude. And so I'm sneaking. I think I was playing a Khajiit my very first go, and I'm sneaking, and this minuscule, tiny, itty bitty guy on the wall, and I'm like, headshot, and just like the kill animation, revoilà. I'm like, that's why I'm sneaky. That is why I use a bow. Shut up. And he was like, okay, never mind. And like walked away. I'm like, but anyway, yeah. So I made my original character. Well, my OC, but my first reenactment character, which I still go by the name of, but I'm not a Viking anymore. I do much later period stuff, but I'm still Astrid. But anyway, I made Astrid on Skyrim, and she's like a Nord, and she's fun. Goliath barbarian cat person. I was gonna make Astrid that and just be like, I'm a Viking, and just like smash people with an axe and a round shield. But I like being sneaky way better. So yeah, I don't know. So anyways, I should finish this because I do have to work tonight, and I have some cleaning to do, as you can see. So yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll do an update later. I'll film a quick, like, hey, this is what I got done today. It's really fun. I like Viking Raiders. But anyway, yeah. So you guys are right. I should look into Twitch. And I don't know, people who are watching this back, if anybody's interested, let me know what you guys think, if I should figure out doing Twitch or Patreon, stuff like that. Thanks for joining me on the stream. I will definitely be doing another. I'm glad I'm not dead too, thank you. Yeah, so this was a good opportunity for people to actually see my personality and not my crappy, like, this is the structured thing that I do. Because I'm bad at the structured thing. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't know how interested people are in... Obviously, you guys are here because I'm a human, and you're like, oh, you seem cool, let's watch you, and probably don't give a crap about, like, here's how you do a herringbone stitch, and you're like, cool, I don't care. I don't know. But I should probably do a mix of those things. Some and some. Because that's the goal, is to be educational and share my stuff and my information. But also because I just want to have community, and I really like YouTube. I have been a member of YouTube for a long time. I have really embarrassing, a couple of, like, stream of consciousness, everything's hard. Young girl, just a young girl talking about herself. That's really old, and I'm embarrassed that I did that. But anyway, things on my very first channel, do not go look it up. I'm gonna go delete them right now. Just educational enough. Edutainment. That's the goal, is edutainment. So, and yeah, I talked about some educational stuff on this stream a little bit. Anyway, no, it does not need to be found. I'm going to go delete them right now. Oh God, no. You don't even know my name. You don't even know that old ass thing. No. It's not really chuckle worthy, other than my bleach blonde hair and pink front. But anyway, okay, I'm leaving now. It's been 80 minutes, almost. So, I'm gonna hang up now is what I was gonna say, which is dumb. Thank you. Oh, chuckle at the... a fringe too. I had a pink fringe, which is what the British call bangs. Bangs is a really weird word. I think fringe is actually more apt description. I'm also a bit of an Anglophile, so yeah. So maybe next time we'll talk about TV shows that I watch and things like that, but I don't know. People are watching back. See what you think. What's going on? Maybe if I'm more active, then more people will show up to streams. And maybe I'll try and stream like once a week or something. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I can't steal Christine's outro. Do we bet? Do we bet? Excuse me. Anyway, okay, bye. I'm leaving now. Bye. Have a good day, guys. I will film a quick update with my progress and stuff. So, see y'all later. Bye. Yes, I'm sure I want to stop streaming.